So, welcome everybody.
Hey, Donna.
Hi, I'm Donna Todd. I am a member of the London chapter of the Ladies at UX. And you can see me, but I can't see you. Just saying. So if I lose you in the light, I'm sure they'll fall here. So we're at Arcane. We're glad we're going to have the lightning talks. Tonight's agenda, you see the screen? We're going to say, obviously, welcome to any new members that have just joined. And we're going to have a welcome from Arcane. We've got our first lightning talks, and then we're going to have a short break. And then 3 more lightning talks, and then we'll have some announcements. So we're going to review our vision and goals first. Obviously, this is Ladies at UX in London, and make sure that if you like tweeting, that you get our hashtag right. It's LTUXLDT. We have no idea why they did LDT. There's a London, England group, and I guess they thought T stood for Ontario. I have no idea. But we can't change it, so we go with it. Ladies at UX is a monthly meetup, and it creates a welcoming, transparent community for women who work in UX and who positively promote and teach each other. So there are actually more than 50 groups worldwide. As you see, we are the 42nd. We are the 2nd in Canada, so we are really proud of that. And the chapter, the local chapter, our mission is to empower women and men working in and interested in the UX, design, and tech fields by understanding their goals, motivations, and desired support. We have a vision of bridging the gender gap in our industry locally and worldwide. We're women-focused, but not women only. So we always encourage anybody that you know who might be interested, please invite them to our meetups. And also, I want to mention that on the blog, you can always go back and review any of the other meetups that we've had because they have been recorded, and we're recording this one. So you can always go back and check. We believe that including everyone in this discussion, and we can make the most impact to fulfill this vision. So in February, we actually got together and got ideas for what we would be doing for the rest of the year. And this was one of the things that people wanted to do, which is a lightning talk. And here's an example of the sheet. So someone decided that they wanted to do 5 10-minute talks. How about that's what we do before or after each meetup. And then you'll see in the notes that somebody says maybe we can do one just as a whole meetup instead. We have had one lightning talk last year, but it's always good to get input from everybody. So right off the bat, I'd like to say thank you to Arcane. Love this thing. And so now, oh, is that, sorry? Okay, Dan Towers, please, sorry.
Hello everyone. I only know a very small group here. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dan Towers and I'm the Senior Manager of Digital Media here at Arcane. So I'm absolutely thrilled that you guys are here. This all kind of came about weirdly through an Instagram kind of conversation that we had, and then sending it over to Sarah to arrange this. But for Arcane, we've really been putting a big focus on diversity, and that's one of the things that I'm excited to be a part of with this agency, is that I'm chairing that diversity committee, and we had about 18 different people, so out of a company of about 65 here, that wanted to actually get involved in that committee, that was committed to having conversations about empowering different groups within the community. So being able to have you guys here, be part of that conversation in this space, I think is just another, or one of the first things that we can do to help push that conversation forward. So Arcane's kind of a full service agency. We have offices in London's kind of our head base, but we do have Toronto, Calgary, and Montreal as well. So we're kind of all over the place, and we try to bring those different groups together too. So I just wanted to say thank you. Get everybody excited for today. Seeing all the talks, it looks like it's going to be awesome. So keep it short and sweet there, but thank you again. Hopefully you can take a tour of the building and check it out.
And it looks like that our first is with Jared and Jessica.
Ooh, appropriate. A lot harder to get out of those chairs. So I'm gonna see if this works.
Just stand over there. Take
No.
care of it.
It's
So we
okay.
get a little bit too prepared for
Oh,
lightning
oh.
talk. We have a little bit of a script here.
Oh, wait, yeah. I get it. I have to open mine.
Don't look.
Let's start off.
And 10 hours later. So my name is Charit. I'm the art director here at Arcane.
And I'm Jessica, and I'm a web developer and designer here at Arcane, more so developer, but that's still my title.
So we just wanted to talk, we're going to try and be as quick as we can, but we wanted to talk about then, now, and tomorrow, which would basically be covering some of the challenges that we faced over the past years and how a dev team and design team can collaborate better together.
Okay.
So, over the years, Arcane designers and developers have, of course, been working together. When we have been working together, we face many challenges, which we will discuss today. It can definitely be a love-hate relationship. Communication and teamwork is definitely key to problem solving.
We will take you through challenges we faced and understand how our process in the UI UX world has improved substantially. Making mistakes is not always a bad thing, as we can learn from them and develop our process.
I have to show my Comic Sans appreciation here. So, we will start with the past. So we've created this awesome Venn diagram, and it's hard to see, but I will try my best to do this. So we have a lovely Venn diagram which shows the designer side and the dev side, and in between where all the challenges we faced have kind of come together. So first off, I will start. So a lot of the problems that we faced in the past are that the designer had to do all of the work. So designers were expected to do all aspects of the work, and I'm talking about, of course, UX and UI and web design and development, like strategy, client management, whatever, both. Strategy, client management, copywriting, design, etc. Another problem was that the client made a lot of the decisions. So we would go in and design a beautiful product, and then the client would go in and ruin everything. Very typical. But it took away our creativity, did not allow us to make the proper and correct UI UX decisions.
Okay. Some of the issues that developers were facing back then were mobile was not always supported, and it was kind of an afterthought. So devs were never supplied mobile designs, as there was never time or budget left because of poor planning, or we had to use our own judgment how to create mobile designs, which is obviously not the best use of a developer's time. Another issue was not making the developed site consistent with the approved designs, which was because of little coordination and little communication between the two teams. Specific ideas for UX would get designed, but then get ignored by developers because they weren't informed about it, or something was designed not knowing the amount of difficulty or budget required to build such a thing. Often specific UX functionality wasn't explained from designer to developer. So some things that kind of overlap between the two of us.
Something that we both faced was little or no communication. Basically, it affected our overall efficiencies. Another thing was that we weren't always 100% AOA compliant, and I don't know if everybody knows what AODA means, but it's something that's very important. Where basically we have to make sure all the color contrast is fine, and there's some back-end stuff which I have no idea about, but you do. And we just had a hard time following that.
Continue on.
So, there we go. So these are some of the programs and software that we have used and experimented with in the past. A big one was a program called Opcode. And Opcode was really cool because it helped bridge the gap between the designer and the developer world. It was really easy for the developer to take the designs and program them from there. The problem was that it was too expensive and only like 2 developers liked using it. Like Jess was one of them, but for some reason they hated typical developer. Designer trying to go in and like make things work, and developers are like, so we kiboshed that.
Oh, it's very
Oh no,
laggy.
no, not yet. Photoshop was obviously another one. I got ahead of myself here, but Photoshop was awesome, and we had always thought that that was the be-all end-all program. But the problem is that it's for web design, it's very slow. There isn't a lot of like built-in things that other programs that we use now have to offer, so we kiboshed that as well.
And additionally, on Photoshop, not all developers on the team even knew how to use it, so even just like cropping out an image was quite a task for some people. So it was kind of just basically a time waster, and we needed something that would just simply export all the required assets that we needed for the team. So that one's, Photoshop is no longer being used. Zeppelin. Zeppelin was a great tool, however, it was also pricey and wasn't really working for our team, as it was missing some core features that other software already had. So we also got rid of that.
We experimented with a program called Experience Design by Adobe. We used it to design our wireframes. It was very simple, and it allowed the teams to focus on basic layout and design, which was awesome. But we also moved on as we found some better software and tools.
Okay, and lastly, there's Muse. Muse was a great prototyping tool. It was actually awesome until the clients realized that not only did the program handle designing, but as well as developing, meaning that they thought that they no longer needed to pay for a developer, but the program was a web development tool at the most basic level of just HTML, CSS, and that's it. No, nothing further than that.
Oh my
So,
God.
no point in using that.
So we moved on to who the hell knew that was going to happen? Anyway, I was going to put like president and then, no, not a funny joke.
We stopped.
So yeah, we moved on to the present. So what did we do with all those programs? We moved on and we found something that we really loved. We started using Sketch and InVision, which I'm sure a lot of you know and use now. It replaced every single one of the products that we showed you before in the past. To put it simply, it replaced everything, and InVision allowed us to share and create prototypes with our team, which means better collaboration. And the clients also really love it because they can collaborate a lot easier. So basically, we love Sketch and InVision. That was supposed to be more dramatic. We're just going to go over these as quickly as we can.
Okay, so now this is the present, the things that we're currently using within our process.
So we want to always keep in mind mobile first. That is big. Oh my God, sorry, I'm distracted. So mobile first, of course, for UX. So no matter what's being designed, we always want to design for mobile first. That way we can focus on designing one screen that's responsive and convertible for anything. Of course, Sketch for detailed layouts and infinite artboards. And I don't want to be like a Sketch promoter here, but there's just a couple things that are awesome about
She has
Sketch.
like 20 bullet points.
that I want to go over. So first of all, small file sizes, great for Retina display, multiple plugins from the web and the GitHub community, syncing for InVision and using Craft Manager, which is amazing. Multiple and infinite artboards, which unlike Photoshop can't handle. And the last is easy wireframe conversion. So we had been using basically anything to wireframe. So we would use a whiteboard, draw it by hand, use Photoshop. We wanted to streamline the process, so we basically started using Sketch to wireframe and then easily convert them into designs.
Okay, and some things on the dev side, responsive design. As Chair already stated, mobile first. This is never a requirement in our process, and no site will ever launch without all aspects of responsive design being looked into. In the past, we covered the basics, but some details were just kind of left out, and that's what really makes a difference. Another thing, custom UI framework called the Arcane Toolkit. The Arcane Toolkit is an in-house UI framework, and that really improves reusability within our code and ultimately leads to a smoother development process, because then we can have more time to focus on the cool UX features in the website. UX should be a seamless experience, so all the small details are what actually get noticed. The Arcane Toolkit includes components such as a 12-column grid, buttons, form inputs, mobile menus, blah, 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 more stuff than that. Developing using more modern technologies. Focusing our development process for modern technologies and browsers means that we have more opportunities available with what we build. Obviously CSS3, HTML5, Sass, Less, etc. But we also are utilizing more on new aspects for CSS as well, such as Flexbox. Also newer JavaScript libraries and frameworks, and we are phasing out jQuery completely. Now we are using a lot of Node, Angular, React within our front-end development process. And now we don't really have to focus so much on older browsers for IE and loading up code with polyfills and whatnot. So some stuff that we both kind of overlap on. Do you want to cover that?
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
Yay! Our past mistakes have taught us to work better and a better cohesive team. More communication. So Slack was introduced to our game, which is really weird that we didn't have anything before to like kind of chat together.
Too lazy to actually get up
and
to the other
go,
desk
but
and
it's
talk
been
to
great.
someone.
I don't care. It's good. It's great.
InVision, so now developers don't need to worry about using Photoshop to crop out an image anymore. We just click the button and then it downloads it. And more team meetings. There's wireframing sessions, kickoff meetings, frequent design and development handoff meetings. Overall, just teams are more involved, which leads to a better process for everything, and everyone knows everything.
And we missed AOPA compliancy, which we now follow very strictly. In the future. Yeah. So we're following the theme here. So basically, some things we. Pardon? What's happening? Oh, we're good. Okay. So some things we just want to focus on in the future that we've done a little bit of research into on the design side is live prototyping, testing with consumers. Basically, this means we actually will be getting real-time feedback from consumers and users actually using our prototypes and products, so that we can actually it instantly allows us to design our applications to their full potential, and then developing and designing for future devices. So I'm sure you've all heard of Oculus Rift and the Apple Watch, which I'm not sure I don't know how well that's doing, but we try to always develop and design for devices that are coming out. And growing customization. So an example of growing customization is tailoring the experience around the users. So real life experiences brought to you online or into your own home or space. For example, like telemedicine, which is basically a doctor can actually visit you on Skype instead of you having to go out and wait. So it's based on newer technologies being released, and it leads to growing customization options.
Great, and then on the dev side of things, some things that we want to be looking more into is completely component-based approach for our development. Continuing on about the statement about Node, Angular, and React, which are already built off of reusable components. That is what we're aiming for in all aspects of our work, regardless of language, framework, whatever that's being built on, because this leads to improvements in efficiency and better websites in general. Smarter machines and automations. Automation and newer smarter machines will play a larger role in your experience with the product, thus feeling as a more seamless experience overall. If you can't notice UX being implemented, that means it's been done well, rather than something feeling clunky and awkward.
Right. Some things that we're exploring in the future are a product called Morpheo, which is another kind of, it's an arcane product can't really go into too much detail, but it will basically streamline efficiencies and it will make work a lot easier for the dev and design team. Basically cut the work in half, so it will be really great. I'm looking forward to that.
Yep. Improved efficiencies, if we've not already said this. Once we figure out how to streamline our work with better and efficient software and processes, we will have more time to focus on UI and UX together as one.
And always learning and researching together. So figuring things out together as a team rather than separating ourselves, which is such a typical designer
kind of
development
like
thing.
siloing.
I don't want to work with you.
Oh.
Oh, and that's it. We're done. Were we good for time? Awesome.
Okay. Does
Does
anyone have
anybody
any
have any questions or thoughts?
What do you feel is one of the biggest hurdles between the designer and the developer? Like, what's like the hardest bridge to have?
It will definitely, like we explained, just like trying to figure out how each other works because we're both so different, like just thinking so differently. I don't know about you, but the way that I think, I feel like I'm on the right side, she's on the left side, kind of how we are now.
Often people think that designers and developers work side by side, but I think more so it's like you work one after another. So like she's done her work, hands it off to me, and then she reviews my work, and then she sees things as we hand it back off to her, and so on and so forth.
So that's the kind of process that we're trying to eliminate, just because that's what everybody wants to do. So I mean, working as a team is always a hard thing, but that I think is the biggest hurdle, just like trying to find efficiencies, software tools. We're always researching and learning those things and reading blogs and yeah.
Good
Getting
question.
better.
Is your prototyping driving your project plan with your client, or is your project plan already in place? Your client's just saying yay or nay to your prototypes.
That we feel like the wireframing prototype.
Well, you said
Yeah.
you were doing prototyping in Sketch, right? So
We're,
you said
we're
you were
trying to
engaging with
explore
clients.
prototyping. We haven't really started
Okay.
doing, like, we want to start looking into like user prototyping, where actually people come in and start using our product before we launch anything or show it. Separate from the client completely. We haven't really researched that yet. Right now we're using InVision as a really strong tool to present it to the client, which has helped a lot and just helped a lot with our like efficiencies and time management, but we want to get into actually live prototyping. Yeah.
Great, thanks.
Places to go on, right? Where React
All right,
has an enormous
so-
user community.
Yeah, sorry, associate.
When most of us
Yes.
hear the term UX, we tend to think go towards more the digital direction. But it's important to remember that it's so much more than just digital. It's not a sales pitch, it's a talk about a sales pitch. Do you ever go to start a presentation and completely blank on what to say? Or go to one of those parties where it's intended to sell you things, the consultant doesn't know what they're talking about? Well, some companies have noticed that consultants know what their products are, but they completely forget what to say or how to keep people engaged. Despite a deep knowledge on all the products, they're completely unable to translate that into a presentation. Confidence and knowledge in your products is vital when it comes to sales. In an attempt to improve this experience, one company created a cheat sheet, or a flip chart for this sale. This flip chart is what I want to talk to you about this evening. One side, they created lighthearted pictures in order for the guests to take a look at. And on the other side, quick notes for the consultant to actually take a look at with basic information about the products, as well as different ideas for what the consultant can do or say during their parties. For example, on the icebreaker page, it talks about engaging the customers, as well as giving sample questions to start the conversation and draw people in. Flipping the page, Flipping the page, it starts talking about the founder and how she and the company are both Canadian, combined with a few references to big names such as Dragon's Den, Profit 500, Entrepreneur of the Year, are there to impress, validate, and provide assurances that this is a viable opportunity, giving the company a persona and humanizing business. After helping the consultant understand the customer a bit more, and the customer getting to know the company a bit more through the introduction, we'll get into the heart and soul of the product, the tea. On this page, we're given tips on different types of products to sample, as well as the description complete with the pronunciation, because nothing can undermine your expertise more than not knowing how to pronounce things. For example, did you know that there are 5 types of tea and they all come from the Camellia sinensis plant? Flipping over the page, a consultant can start talking about the company, favorite products, the matcha teas, and even food. All while showing you pictures to intrigue and induce appetite. Moving on, the chart continues to describe many of the products and remaining teas, while giving hints on what to say and how to keep people engaged. Most pages have room to write on, or even personal thoughts, or the ever-changing page numbers in the catalog. Using this sales tool, the consultant can review their presentation in advance, writing their own personal thoughts, statements, or ideas to help personalize the presentation and make it more relatable. Customers want to feel like they're receiving something personal, and it can be undermined by a form presentation. Think about getting a form letter very often. Preparing something in advance, adding personal anecdotes, observations, and ideas can take a presentation from a solid foundation to something that's more reflective of who the consultant is as a person. Last but not least, an example where you can add your own personal information. Last but not least is every good sales pitch should end. This flip chart tells the consultant to thank the host and offers 4 options on how to serve the guest. Ending the party with, "It's been a pleasure getting to know you, and I'll be available now to answer your individual questions and help you with your selections." Giving the presentation a personal touch and continuing to keep people engaged by encouraging them to continue the conversation. As a consultant, having a flip chart in front of you can give you the confidence to continue your knowledge, or to continue with knowledge that you might not have had on your own, making the customer's journey presentation more cohesive and pleasurable, taking a presentation from a make-or-break scenario to a successful event. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. I had my own flip chart for my presentation, if I could work. Does anybody have any questions?
Other than, where's the tea?
In the kitchen.
Exactly.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Tonight I'm going to be talking about involving everybody in UX. I work for a company here in London called SIM. We are a UX consultant, design and prototyping company. And I'm the operations manager there. I have a background in law. I'm originally from Brazil. I used to be a lawyer there. Went for school for international business here in Canada, and now I work as an operation manager. So even if you don't think so, everything comes together, and I think it's a good background for my position. So involving everybody in UX. So UX, there's a big difference between being a UX organization and being an organization that has some developers and designers that are specialized in UX. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about my experience working for a company that it's a UX organization, so we provide UX service. So first thing, you cannot sell UX service when not everyone at the company fully understands what they do and how they add value to your customers. How do you involve everybody in UX to become a UX organization? First, everyone, like at ResIM, everyone in our team, including operations manager, including project manager, we all get user exposure hours. So basically, every month we have to spend at least 1 hour watching how people interact with websites, mobile apps that we create, so we understand how people interact with our teams. Second, we involve everybody in UX. When all the team members take part in cross-training, skill sharing activities with each other. So, for example, I would sit down with our researcher and watch how he creates surveys, how he creates the recommendations. I go to kickoff meetings to see, to listen, what are the issues with our customers, why they came to us, why they need their website, their mobile app to be improved. So I learn how we transform their uncertainties, how we transform their doubts into a recommendation that is transformed into a design, that's transformed to a prototype, and later on into an app or a mobile or a website. So why it's important to involve everybody in UX? It's important because understanding UX allows us to communicate easier. It means that everybody understands the project that we're working on, what needs to be done. We move projects forward smoothly. So everybody aligns their work into the prior steps. So when the developer is developing, is coding the prototype, they'll always, look back and see, the design was done that way because the research recommended this to be done this way. So, and we share contributions evenly. What it means is that team members don't have to explain or do extra work to interpret strategies and recommendations. So it ties to everybody being able to, everybody being empowered to make informed decisions. So everybody's able to understand the recommendations. The designer understands why the research found that problem and how we can fix that, and then the developer knows that it has to be loyal to the design because there's a purpose why things should be built that way. So this is a Formula 1 car getting the 4 tires changed. And this is a perfect example of UX organization where everybody understands the job and what we're doing and why we're doing that. So this guy here that puts the new tire on, he understands that the other tire is out, and the other guy there lifts the car so the tires can go on faster, and they finish the job in seconds, right? We're not that fast, but we get the work done fast and efficiently.
Push the winter tires if they change like
Yeah. So you must be wondering how UX applied to my role as an operation manager, right? So obviously I don't design, and the only thing I attempt to design was creating a GIF for my boss. I changed a little bit, put a hair to make him look like Pablo Escobar. Looks good, we used it. So, okay, first, UX is a habit of empathy with people, right? So, UX is not a prerequisite for my position, but it plays an essential role on the success of my role and in the company. company's overall success. I think because my main focus is the customers, and I have to interact with them. So my customers are the suppliers I have to deal with. My customers are the clients we have, visitors. My customers are public in general, and the employees that work there. So understanding UX allows me to facilitate the experience of suppliers reaching out to find information, and the way I interact with them makes a huge difference in the way we're taking that relationship along. And it provides a better customer experience and service to our clients and visitors, because I really focus on their issues and how I can best service them. So we offer UX, right? How people interact with their website. They come up to us because they're having an issue or they want to make sure they won't have one. So if they don't get a good experience with us, how they interact with us, it can affect the relationship. So I need to make sure the relationship is built in a way that, take that into consideration. And I make sure all employees are happy working with us. So when I organize staff lunches or staff parties, I don't just put the food in a box on the table. I like to, customize things. I like to present it nice, and it all counts for user experience, because there's a way that you have to pick up your plate first, and then the food and everything, so people are not all fighting over the food, and they don't have a good experience, right? So understanding UX enables me to provide a better service to all my customers. But how does it feel to work at ResIM? How does it feel to work for a UX organization? Well, 3 feelings: fulfillment, challenge, and recognition. So first, I feel fulfilled because when creating policies, the company takes into consideration happiness and satisfaction. The happiness and satisfaction of its employees is really important. I feel challenged because when you engage more in the organization, you feel that you're heard, you have an avenue to express your ideas, your opinions, you offer your feedback. So I don't hold a UX title. I don't work directly designing or building something, but we have production meetings every week, and I hear what they're doing, and I understand where everything's coming from. And if I want to give my opinion, they will listen. I don't guarantee that they will listen, do what I say, but at least I have my inputs there, right? And I feel recognized because I'm able to speak about UX, even if I don't hold a UX title. UX is not a prerequisite for my position, but I understand about it. I can explain how we do things and how we add value to our customers. So, how does it feel to work with us? I skip my slide. Yeah. I'll go here first and then I'll go back. So we are constantly seeking feedback. So this is a Net Promoter Score. So we want to know from our customers, past customers, how they feel, how they felt about working with us. And we check in with customers often to make sure that we build that relationship and we keep the relationship in a good stand, right? And I think this slide I'm missing here, it's ensuring that we operate as a UX company. So we have the user exposure hours every month that we sit as individually or as a group to watch, how people interact with our applications and websites. We make comments, we learn more about UX, and we have cross-training, job sharing, and community contribution. So we had UX talks, we had 2 or 3 UX talks too. where we bring speakers that talk about UX and educate people that doesn't know about UX, or refresh or give some new insights. And we have sometimes students from Pension College or Western that would come to the office, and we're gonna talk about UX. They can do job shadowing with us and, you know, learn a little bit about our process. And we have workshops too. I have a slide after my presentation. We are hosting a workshop here in London in June, and I invite you guys to participate. So basically, my UX experience is translated into customer experience, because customer experience involves all the ways that you interact with your customers. And I think I have a little bit of input everywhere as in UX. So thank you very much for having me here today. If you have any questions, I can answer, or you can email me. And just before, I don't know if anybody has any question. So we're hosting a workshop, Make User-Centered Decisions, in June 10. And if you are interested, you can always take a look at Eventbrite, and if you're interested, register for it. Jonathan and Brian, our researcher, will facilitate the workshop. Thank you.
Did anyone have any questions?
Okay.
All right.
Oh, there's a question.
Personally, what do you feel like one of your biggest challenges with UX in the workplace?
Well, everybody knows a lot about UX. Everybody, they have their hands, you know, like finding things, finding issues, and translating it into a final project. And for me, it's more like learning, you know, how we can do that. You know, because I don't do that every day, like develop things or design things. Sometimes it can be a little challenge to understand, but that's why we have the user exposure, and I can always talk to them and ask.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Just like you are trying to learn more about what the designers and developers do with UX, so that you can understand their role, so you can do your role better, is the opposite true too, where the people who are using UX or designing this UX are trying to make it better for your role.
Better in which,
Like designing anything that you would use for your customers.
like for my role?
For your role. Does it work the opposite?
Yeah, like we don't really develop anything that I could use. Well, one thing that we had from a long time ago, it was I plan all the staff lunch, and it's really hard, especially if the team is big, to agree upon a food that you're gonna order or where you're gonna go to eat. So we had this app that will randomly select restaurants in the neighborhood, or pick a beer that I have to go and buy, and it was easy, facilitate my work very much. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm Rebecca. I'm a marketing manager at MT Communications here in London, and basically we focus on B2B marketing practices and inbound marketing. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically everything that encompasses my clients getting found online. So it's social media management, email campaigns, social blogging content, and much, much more. Basically, so how I got here and how I got to SEO and UX is I went to Fanshawe for business marketing and business administration marketing, where we focused on new digital mediums and how to improve overall appearances of businesses online. So there was a lot of emphasis on pay-per-click advertising over others. So I really focused on that, and I thought, you know what, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. Pay-per-click advertising is my thing. But then I realized I saw more value in SEO, which I'll get into the definition here. It's basically, like I said, everything organic or natural that occurs and helps build a brand or a business's reputation online. So when I was learning about PPC, I thought it was great that you're able to place a bid and you had a top spot on the search engines where you were visible. But the thing is, 93% of online experiences begin with the search engine, and most people will only click on the organic results. So I found that with that, SEO was just more interesting, and it kind of focused it on the user instead of a dollar amount and just paying for an ad. So I thought there was a lot more thought and a lot more that went into SEO. So that's why I got so involved, and that's why I started coming to these awesome meetups. So a little bit of background. This is a very brief history of SEO, but essentially, SEO in the olden days when websites first came about, there was a lot of keyword stuffing, spammy links. People were paying for links so that they would, show up on the top of the search engines because, that was the main goal back then, was to be at number one. And then as time went on, algorithm updates happened where Google started to penalize websites that started to use those tactics, those spammy tactics. So, and then Google became smarter, understanding synonyms, being able to suggest other queries when you begin to type, real-time search in social feeds, so sometimes you'll see live tweet results and of current news and events happening. Google also works to penalize websites with negative reviews, and they've also come up with updates that penalize duplicate content. They will penalize if you're not mobile friendly. There are many updates that contributed to where SEO is today. So it's come a very long way. There's a lot that impacts SEO, and sometimes when we design a project or we design a website, SEO is an afterthought, and what I like to preach in my organization is that it's not an afterthought, and it should be thought of within design implementation. So there's lots and lots of things that impact SEO. I won't talk about all of these, but some of them that stand out to me is having more than one H1 per page, for example. A lot of these things you wouldn't think have an impact on the search engine and how they read your website, but they do. So let's say you have a page and you have 8 H1 tags. Well, Google has no idea what your page is about because your H1 tag is supposed to communicate your main message. So things like that, things like images without alt text, so there's nothing to describe the image if it can't render on the page, or you're not able to rank in any image results, sorry. Something like avoiding using Google Analytics on your website is something I see. It's a huge mistake and a huge gap where you are able to look at all this data and analytics on how much time are you spending on a page, or are your users bouncing after 5 seconds? You're doing something wrong, obviously. So that's how kind of SEO and I think user experience tie together, is where things like SEOers look out for is like content and just focusing on lost my train of thought there. But essentially, all of these things impact SEO, and the list goes on. And I found this quote to be pretty accurate, and that SEO has the data that UX needs, and UX has the tools and framework that SEO needs. So I just think that we can help each other in the world of SEO and UX to combine, to collaborate, to create the ultimate digital experience where the search engine is happy, you're delivering a good experience to the user from that standpoint, and from the moment you land on their page. So I'm a big fan of Moz, and from a lot of these nerdy resources that I use daily. So Randy Fishkin is one of my favorites. He said the user experience is the greatest impact to SEO. It's through the increase it creates in organic sharing and distribution. So with that, I think that SEO just isn't the content on a web page, and it isn't just the words on the page or the on-page tactics that matter. It's the social, it's the blogging, it's the email campaigns, it's the overall experience that you give your clients digitally. And then this other quote is, what really impacts SEO to me is that the importance of UX makes SEO better. And I agree with that because I think that the user experience has overall made the search engine smarter. And with Google coming out with artificial intelligence and voice search, we're getting to know the users so much more. And I think that, again, collaborating together as SEOers and UXers, we could really make some disruption in the digital space.
So you have your UX, you're targeting your UX to drive your social engagements and that type of thing. I have a client, and when we looked at their search engine optimization, which the client assured me was flawless, it turned out that they were really great on their brand name and the product they sold. The search engine had no clues about them. How do you address that with your clients to ensure that it's not just their brand name that's getting out there, but the actual concept behind the work they do?
Yeah, so what we do when we onboard clients is we really get to know them and what keeps them up at night, like what do they want their customers to know and feel about them. So what we do in that case is we'll develop the content on social media and blogs that relate to the questions and the queries that users are typing into Google related to the products and services that they offer. So ultimately the goal is to give them enough content to make the educated decision themselves, because now we're seeing the user has so much more purchasing power, right? So to have that available to them and for them to self-assess, I feel like is just, for us, it's a good way to create that content and help solve a problem that way, using social, blogging, email, all those other great channels, in addition to the website. Hopefully that answered your question.
I have other questions, but I'll
So, yeah, I'd like to start off with thank you everybody again. London's tech sector is really an exciting time right now. It's evident by even tonight, seeing everyone out here. So it's an honor to be a part of this. And again, thanks for coming out and listening to me stammer and look at my phone and see this little presentation that I put together. I grew up in London, and like everyone knows, I went to the most prestigious school there is, Fanshawe. Got a great education and loved it. So, show of hands, who has not used social media today? Who hasn't? That's cool. I was hoping at least one person would show their hand. No one has. So that's pretty interesting. Everyone has used social media today. Even if it's just, looking at a photo or joining a group, creeping an ex, there's a lot of things that you can do with social media.
Like you can almost say that your Facebook account is an extension of your persona. It is. You're not going to allow something that's going to be self-deprecating onto your profile or your businesses, because that's just not going to work out very well for anyone. So moving on. I say all that really just to outline like how actually connected everyone is to their social media. A lot of people just think like, oh hey, yeah, it's my Facebook, I don't care, I don't check it. But when you spend hours upon hours upon hours just getting a perfect selfie, you care about your social media. And it's really hard to lie about that. So yeah, so I've been asked by business owners, not quite Warren Buffett, but maybe one day, why bother with social media? My sales are fine. Why should I waste time? Why should I waste resources and money and all this stuff? So that's a terribly old-fashioned mentality to get drawn into. Why? Because the social media audiences are so large and diverse that ignoring them would be an economic suicide. And here's a little stat that I found online. So these are users per million that are active as of this month for April. So as you can see, Facebook has 1,968 million active users every day online. So like that's an extremely huge market. And if you don't have a Facebook page, like you're missing out on that entire audience. They're not seeing anything that you're doing. It doesn't matter how good your website is SEO. It doesn't matter how much outreach you do in the community. If you're not on Facebook, that audience is completely being missed, and you're not hitting them at all. So my phone keeps flipping. I have an orientation off. So it's, yeah. So people are more inclined to check out your Yelp review than before stepping foot in your store. And this is a fact that I've seen personally a lot of times, being in a group of friends, and hey,
where do we want to eat tonight? Oh, well, I heard New York pizza and shawarma is really good and I gotta go there. Oh, well, I heard it's kind of bad. Oh, well, let's check it out online. And then you make a decision based on what you see online. It used to be that your company needed to have a nice, full website and an up-to-date Facebook page to catch your consumers' eye. Nowadays, that's just bare bones basic. If you don't have a Facebook page, again, through this infographic, you're missing out on a lot of people. These days now, businesses are simultaneously posting on all platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Yelp. LinkedIn's kind of making a little bit of a cutback. I don't know if anyone's been on LinkedIn lately. They did a nice revision. It's nice. I like it now. But these are all channels that people are actually really starting to take notice and are driving sales, like huge. Online sales. When was the last time that you shopped on Walmart.com? Probably not that much. Amazon, though, a lot. And if you shop on Amazon, or even if you look up something on Amazon online, I can guarantee you the next time you sign into Instagram, your sponsored ad will be what you were looking at on Amazon. That's just how it works. And that's direct marketing. That's upselling. And it's great. It's awesome. I love it. I would rather a machine almost tell me what I want and bring it right to my door than having to stumble through like, oh, I kind of like the green shirt. Oh, no, I kind of like the blue shirt. Oh, I don't like that. It just tells you. It's great. Why not? Skynet. It is. So, a company that has an engaging social media presence with dynamic content and strong following is a company that's going to grow regardless of the climate. If you're engaging with your users and if you're being on top of stuff, you're really you're going to do a lot better than the guy that's not, and it's just kind of signing checks and signing paper, not really making a connection with his consumers. So to do that, you need to have a digital footprint that is not only large but stylish. Think size 17 Gucci loafers. So you want to really be, show your people what you can do. So have a style, have a voice. Talk to your audience in a manner that represents your company without sounding like a robot. People are more inclined to associate themselves with something that represents them. So if your company is putting out social media posts that are very robotic sounding, let's say every post that you put out is the same written content for Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. If it's all the same, you look like a machine, and there's no connection between your company and your audience out there. So even just like changing a couple words, even just changing wording, even changing a photo, simply in a slight way can really make a huge difference. Video rules newsfeed. This is a little anecdote. I have this really crappy 5S. It sucks a lot. It's 8 gigs. The OS is about 4. It sucks. So anyways, I have Facebook on here, and for the longest time, Facebook videos would not work at all. I would sit here and I'd slide on Facebook, and I started sliding, and nothing would work. So what I really noticed, like the kind of silver lining in that cloud, was that I noticed that literally 80% of my newsfeed is videos, just constant videos, whether it be from BuzzFeed to my friends to someone sharing something. It's just a lot of videos. So at Y, the company started to think it's engaging content. It's something that you can fit a lot of material into a 30-second little thing. And that's cool, and that's good, and that's definitely where the web is going. A lot of people aren't just posting a photo with a bunch of hashtags on it anymore. They're posting a little 15, no one has attention spans anymore. That's gone. No one can sit between 5 minutes anymore, and it's kind of sad, but I mean, what else? Skynet. So if you have just a short little video, 15 seconds to 30 to a minute, that's how you can really grab your attention, the attention of your audience, and really promote yourself. So leading into that, major media producers started covering their text with, covering their videos with kinetic text. So stuff like this. It's not showing up. So kinetic text is like this. Oh, it's good? Okay. Kinetic text. So it's basically just text over top of the video. So what was happening was a lot of people were posting these videos and they were
catching that wave, but a lot of people didn't have, have their sound on, so we'd always hear or have little things touch for sound. Yeah, I'm just gonna carry on. So touch for sound. So what's that? Thank you. So what's that kind of done is actually made the web a lot more accessible, because now a lot of these videos have screen readers, or they have subtitles on top of them, which is cool, and it's really good. Yes, yeah. Go for it. Okay, thanks for saving the day.
You're welcome.
There you go. Yes, so ultimately as a business, you want your marketing budget to be used as efficiently as it can be. So that's a nice mix. Two of my favorite people, Bowie, Hatfield. To run an ad in Maclean's magazine can cost anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 for 1 month, 1 page, 1/2 page. That gets seen by a very minimal amount of people. Well, not minimal, but a select audience. Let's say that. When you can post onto, in this case, Arcane's Facebook page for literally no money. It costs you nothing to do that. So, and the audience that you hit with Facebook is much larger than you would hit with traditional print advertising. Sorry, I'm kind of trading on. I know I'm losing interest. I'm almost done. Yeah, the business applications also for social media are extremely exact, and there's a lot of different information you can get from social media. Basically down to like the age and sex and pay scale of every single user that touches your site, which is really cool. You can use that for like product testing. You can use it for user testing. Where your markets are, like where you can kind of put more effort into this one area and less into another. Going viral can be a literal windfall for some small businesses. It seems that in New York, every 3 months there's a new like deep fried sushi place with Nutella donuts serving like taco pizzas, and like there's just no end to really what people are doing in restaurants these days. So when those people hit virility, it's awesome for them. It brings their companies into the limelight. It brings them into the big leagues, which is really cool. But there's a dark side of virility. Yeah, so Pepsi just spent millions of dollars on this ad, and this is like this can be a case study. They're gonna write books about this. So they made this massive thing. They thought they were doing everything right. Like, okay, yeah, we're gonna bridge the gap. What's going on these days? Oh, people are rioting. Oh, well, how can we use Pepsi to stop that? I don't know. Pick up a Kardashian and throw it in the mix. So then we get this. So what's happened? And you could say like, hey, any press is good press. Well, in this case, like. They were so impossibly tone deaf to every situation going on in the States right now that they were looked at as a joke, and they still are looked at as a joke. If you've actually seen some like recent videos, you'll see like police riots and people like hucking cans of Pepsi, and like or trying to like give cans of Pepsi to people that are fighting. And it's like if your product looks like a comical prop within like America's civil unrest, like your company's doing something wrong. And I don't know what Coke sales are doing like right now, but I'm sure they're a bit better than Pepsi's. And yeah, so that's about it. And if you're looking at any tips and tricks to run your social media account, be considerate and inclusive of your audience. Don't judge or assume anything on their behalf. Listen to what they say. This is a really cool thing. If you like, there's even times I've like written a post on like an artist that I really admire, or like Nike or like whatever, and you get a message back, and it's like the coolest shit ever. It can fix your day, right? So like if you have that power in your hand, do that. Like talk to people that deserve your respect. Tag like places. Hashtags are good, but tagging places and people and events and stuff like that. That is a really good way of getting your content out there and recognized by a wider audience. Ask yourself, do I sound like a recording? If you do, reword it so it's a bit nicer. Like, read yourself that post in the mirror and see if it's a little bit better. And then have fun. And then I was actually going to end this on Arcane's slogan, which is make cool shit. But I kind of thought it might be a little harsh. But anyways, make cool shit. And that's my thing.
future of social media.
Yeah.
But what I want to ask is, I think you bring up a really good point with video in particular. One of the things we notice with clients is that when we are pitching video to them, they want something that's awesome, looks great, but at the end of the day, it's all about the message that you're communicating. So having text is such a big part of it, because if your video can't stand alone, and people can't understand what people are saying, what's the context, we find that obviously that's a big problem, especially if anybody's hearing impaired. The vast majority of videos will autoplay on your phone, and they autoplay in silence, sorry. So obviously that's a big change that is happening more and more in social media. But then also to challenge you on one point of the $1,000 to $10,000 for a media buy in a magazine versus free social media. If you don't have that audience, it is increasingly becoming pay to play.
Very true.
So I guess kind of in time with the future, how can we reach mass audiences, have mass effectiveness in that space? Especially in a paid space too. So that's a big thing. Like when we start a social media account for a client, it's like they don't understand sometimes that it's going to take time, we need to develop it.
To build that
but how we're going to develop that is going to be primarily paid tactics.
True.
So that's my question.
All right. I didn't even touch on paid ads and stuff like that, and that's a huge part of it. When you're on Instagram or Facebook, even for that matter, pretty much after one scroll, you're supposed to see an ad in your face. I guess for the future, that is kind of like $1 million question. It's how do I go viral for the right reason? And I think that's a challenge between like people like you and your job, like making that content that's going to make something go viral, and then also I guess like the client itself, like what are they offering that's going to get viral action? Right, so like if a plumbing company even spent $1 million on an ad, if it's just a dry little ad about this is how pipes work, it's not really going to go that far, right? But if they made some really funny like Taylor Swift mock song that just like took off, then now they've garnered that audience and can grow from there. I'm not sure if that really answered the question. Kind of, maybe. Yeah. Allison, I think you had your hand up. No?
Yeah, I have two questions.
Yeah.
One, when is when is like hashtags too many hashtags? Because you say there's no hashtag on Twitter.
Yeah. Honestly, like there's ways of kind of like skirting it. Like on Instagram, if you post something and like you have all your hashtags right in the description of it, when you go to share that, on Facebook especially, all those hashtags are still there, but they're not active. And it just kind of makes your post look super cluttered. So I guess the way to get around that, what I do is I just comment the hashtags in. I wouldn't really say there's any limit on hashtags. Hell with it. Yeah, do it. Like there are people that, like there's a bunch of Sociality accounts maybe 5-6 years ago, of people just taking photos in the Swiss Alps and whatnot. And they would get mad followers just solely on tagging people in their photo. And that's something that a lot of people don't do. I think that's something that's like a really wide open door to be an audience.
So you post once on Facebook, but it's obviously not going to reach all your followers on Facebook the first time.
No.
How often do you repost?
The same content over and over, kind of thing, or like?
Well, I assume you would mix it up each time you repost.
There's actually like some really good theories on reposting. Some people say like you shouldn't do it at all. I don't really believe that. I think it's better to, you're not going to want to like repost something from 6 months ago and just keep reposting, because you'll look fairly monotonous, I guess, like that. But it's not a bad idea. You'll see like accounts like London Free Press, AMID, and stuff like that. They'll repost stuff all week long, and they'll just kind of keep going on a big loop of reposting. And it's not a bad idea because there's a lot of times that your audience doesn't see.
Because I was looking at Twitter trends for about 200,000 followers.
Right.
Even with the 200,000 followers, they're lucky they're hitting 2,000 people on a tweet, which means that reposting becomes essential just to bring that number up.
It's true, yeah, and it's also, it kind of goes back to active followers, like how people are actually, like what's a spam account, what's a real follower to you. There's a lot of people on Instagram that have 400,000 followers, but their posts will get 200 likes. Right. So that's like a very clear indication that either A, like these are completely
pay for, or they're just not marketing themselves. So, I'm going to save some time for the next person. Thank you very much for the questions and your time.